You feel it. Even when you try to ignore it, even when the world tries to bury it under noise, under stress, under endless distraction, there is something inside you, a presence, a weight, a force. Not everyone has it, but you do. And when it awakens, the world will notice, because a powerful aura cannot be hidden. It cannot be silenced. It cannot be denied. The question is not if your aura is powerful. The question is, do you have the courage to see it? The struggle. But look at life around you. Look at the world. Stress in every corner, endless comparison, endless hunger for approval, 1,000 eyes watching, yet no one truly seeing. People scroll, they chase, they drown, they trade their strength for validation, they sell their peace for likes, they hand their aura to anyone willing to hold it, and wonder why they feel so weak. They bow to opinions. They bow to rejection. They bow to the illusion of being valued. And in that bowing, their aura fades. Their spirit dims. Their presence becomes invisible. The Stoics warned of this. They didn't speak of energy as mystics do, but they spoke of something far greater, the unshakable presence of a disciplined soul. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What does that mean? It means your aura, your presence, is forged by your discipline, your thoughts, your actions. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free," and freedom is the essence of aura. When you no longer live chained to others' opinions, you begin to radiate something no one can touch. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And this is the secret. Aura is not given by others. It is not granted by approval. It is the natural glow of a person who has mastered themselves. So hear me. If you are tired of being unseen, unheard, undervalued, this is your survival training. This is your weapon. This is how you step into a presence so unshakable, so undeniable, that the world has no choice but to feel it, because there are 5 signs, 5 markers of a soul whose aura has transcended, 5 flames that prove your presence cannot be ignored. And when you see these signs in yourself, you will never again doubt your power. The first sign of a powerful aura is silence, not the silence of weakness, not the silence of fear, but the silence of a storm waiting to break, the silence of a mountain that has stood for centuries, the silence of a soul that no insult, no chaos, no distraction can shake. When your aura is powerful, you do not need to shout. You do not need to beg. You do not need to convince, because your presence itself is the proof. The struggle of noise. Look at modern life. Noise everywhere. People talking over one another. Voices screaming online, desperate to be heard, desperate to be noticed. But the more they shout, the more invisible they become. Because true power doesn't scream. It radiates. It doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. The ancient example. There's a story about Marcus Aurelius. In the Roman Senate, politicians argued, shouted, and fought to prove their worth. But Marcus, he sat in silence. He listened. And when he finally spoke, every voice in the room fell quiet. Not because he was emperor, but because his silence carried more weight than their noise. His aura filled the space before his words ever did. Think about it. You've met someone like this. They walk into a room and say nothing. But suddenly, the atmosphere changes. Their presence speaks louder than any introduction. Their calmness feels like gravity pulling you in. Their silence forces you to listen before they even open their mouth. That is aura. That is power. Seneca wrote, "Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life." Your silence tells the world you cannot be provoked. You cannot be dragged into petty battles. You cannot be controlled. And when people see that, they feel it. They sense the strength in your restraint. They respect the calm you carry, even if they can't explain why. So how do you build this silence? Not by avoiding words, but by mastering yourself. When anger rises, you pause. When chaos surrounds you, you breathe. When insults fly at you, you remain still. Your silence is not emptiness. It is full. It is alive. It is the mark of someone who does not need the world to validate them. This is the first sign of a powerful aura, the ability to let your silence shake the ground louder than noise ever could. But silence is only the beginning, because power is not just in what you withhold. It is also in what you endure, which brings us to the second sign, a sign even rarer, even stronger. A powerful aura is not built in comfort. It is forged in fire, and the fire is suffering. Every scar you carry, every betrayal you survived, every storm you stood through, they did not destroy you. They gave you endurance. And endurance is not just surviving. It is standing taller because of what tried to break you. The difference between the weak and the strong. Weak people run from struggle. They hide from discomfort. They pray for an easy path. But the strong endure, not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand. Pain is a teacher, suffering is a test, and those who pass it glow with a different light. The ancient example, take Epictetus, born a slave, beaten, mistreated, even crippled. Yet he said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." Epictetus didn't just endure suffering. He transformed it into wisdom. His aura was unshakable, because nothing the world threw at him could chain his spirit. Think about the people you admire, not the ones with easy lives, not the ones who never faced hardship, but the ones who walked through fire and came out glowing. The single mother who raised her children against all odds. The man who lost everything yet built again from zero. The person who faced illness, tragedy, betrayal, and still carries light in their eyes. That light is endurance. That is aura. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. This is not cruelty. This is power." Every time you endure without breaking, your aura grows. Every time you carry your suffering with dignity, you radiate strength. Every time you rise after falling, the world feels your presence. Because people can sense when someone has been through darkness and chose to carry light anyway. Why does endurance create aura? Because people crave strength. They look at you and think, if they can survive that, maybe I can survive my own battles. Your aura becomes a beacon, not because you are untouched, but because you are unbroken. The daily practice. To build endurance, do not wish for an easy life. Wish for the strength to face a hard one. When you are tired, keep going. When you are hurt, stand firm. When you are doubted, believe in yourself. Endurance is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is the quiet decision, day after day, to keep walking. This is the second sign of a powerful aura. Endurance, the unshakable spirit that suffers without surrender. But endurance alone is not enough, because while others break under suffering, many also collapse under temptation. The third sign of power is even rarer. It is the mastery of desire. Most people think slavery ended long ago, but look closer. Chains are everywhere. The man who cannot live without approval is a slave. The woman who chases luxury, needing more and more, is a slave. The teenager who cannot put down their phone, refreshing likes, chasing validation, is a slave. The strongest chains are not iron, they are desire. The third sign of a powerful aura. You know someone's aura is powerful when they do not bow to desire, when they can look temptation in the eye and remain unmoved. Food, money, fame, pleasure, they are not evil, but when they own you, your aura fades. You become a puppet. True power comes when you own them, not the other way around. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The Stoics understood that desire is endless. The more you feed it, the hungrier it gets. And those who chase it never glow with power. They reek of desperation. But the one who can stand still, who can say no, radiates something rare, an aura of mastery. Look at the world around you, billions addicted to screens, working jobs they hate for things they don't need, falling into cycles of lust, envy, greed. They scroll endlessly. They buy endlessly. They want endlessly. But watch the rare few who detach. The monk who walks with nothing, yet glows like a sun. The disciplined entrepreneur who controls his cravings, not the other way around. The person who walks away from toxic pleasure and radiates calm strength. These are the ones you notice in silence, because they don't need attention. Their presence demands it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This is the blade. Desire is not outside of you, it is inside, and the key to mastery is not to kill desire, but to command it. The aura of the master. Imagine two kings. One has 10,000 soldiers, palaces, treasures, and women. But inside, he trembles at the thought of losing them. He is enslaved. The other owns nothing, no gold, no army, no crown, but his will is iron. He bows to no desire, and the world bends to him. Who is the real king? That is aura, the daily training to master desire. You must train it like a wild animal. When lust whispers, remember discipline. When greed tempts, remember sufficiency. When envy burns, remember gratitude. When hunger calls, practice restraint. Every time you say no, your aura strengthens. Every time you refuse the easy path, you sharpen your edge. Every time you walk away from temptation, you glow with quiet power. This is the third sign of a powerful aura. Mastery over desire. The strength to say no when others say yes. But power does not only come from what you resist, it also comes from what you give. The fourth sign is something even rarer. Compassion without weakness. Most people mistake kindness for weakness. They think compassion means bending, yielding, being soft. But true compassion, true Stoic compassion, is the rarest form of strength, because it is easy to strike back. It is easy to hate. It is easy to close your heart and grow bitter. But to care, to forgive, to guide, while remaining unshaken, that is godlike. That is power. The fourth sign of a powerful aura. You know someone's aura is powerful when their presence brings calm, not because they are fragile, but because they are unmovable. A weak man is kind because he fears conflict. A powerful man is kind because he does not. A weak woman forgives because she is afraid to lose. A powerful woman forgives because she chooses to rise. Do you see the difference? One is forced, the other is free. That freedom shines through the aura. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." The emperor of Rome, commander of legions, ruler of millions, was reminding himself to be gentle, not because he was weak, but because he was so strong he did not need cruelty to prove himself. Imagine that. The most powerful man alive teaching himself kindness. That is not softness. That is a weapon forged in fire. Think about the last time someone disrespected you, insulted you, laughed at you. The normal reaction: anger, revenge, bitterness. But when your aura is powerful, you don't fall. You look at them steady as stone, and you let their words shatter against your silence. This silence is not weakness. It is judgment. It is mercy. It is dominance without violence. Epictetus taught, "How long will you wait before you demand the best for yourself?" The best is not just strength. The best is not just resilience. The best is the ability to extend your hand. When the world spits on you, not because you are blind to betrayal, but because you are above it. Your aura radiates like firelight in the cold, not begging to be noticed, but impossible to ignore. The warrior's kindness. Imagine two fighters. The first wins by crushing his enemy into the ground, mocking, humiliating, destroying. He is feared, but never respected. The second defeats his enemy, but then lifts him up, offering water, offering dignity. He is feared, respected, and remembered. That second fighter's aura travels further than his fists, because he carries the rarest power of all: compassion without weakness. When insulted, do not bite back. Respond with silence or with calm truth. When betrayed, do not collapse. Learn, adapt, but do not poison your heart. When others are drowning in anger, be the one who steadies the storm. Compassion is not letting others walk on you. It is walking so firmly in your values that others feel peace when they are near you. This is the fourth sign of a powerful aura: compassion that flows from strength, not fear. But there is one more sign, and it is the most difficult, the one that makes legends, the one that decides whether your aura becomes eternal. The fifth sign is mastery over death itself. There is one shadow that follows every human being. It does not care about your status. It does not bow before your money. It does not fear your beauty, your health, or your youth. That shadow is death. We spend our lives running from it. We cover it with distractions, with noise, with endless scrolling. We drown it with food, drink, and meaningless pleasures. But at night, when the lights are off, when the phone dies, when silence falls, we hear its footsteps. And that is why most auras are weak, because they are built on fear. But there are a rare few, souls who have looked into the abyss and smiled. Men and women who have made peace with mortality. They walk differently. They speak differently. Their aura carries the weight of eternity. The fifth sign of a powerful aura. This is the rarest sign of all: mastery over death. Not the denial of death, not pretending you will live forever, but accepting completely, absolutely, that one day you will vanish from this earth. When you master death, you master life. When you accept the end, every breath becomes sacred. When you lose the fear of dying, you lose the fear of living. That is why people with this aura feel untouchable, because the ultimate weapon the world uses, threats, fear, loss, no longer chains them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live. Death hangs over you while you live. While it is in your power, be good." The Emperor of Rome reminded himself every single day that death was near, not to be depressed, not to be dark, but to be alive, because death is not the enemy. For the Stoic, it is the compass, the reminder, the fire beneath the feet. Picture this: A Roman soldier stands on the battlefield, arrows rain, swords clash, shields crack. He may fall in the next breath, but he does not tremble, because he has already made peace with death. He fights not for survival, but for honor, for duty, for something greater. Now, look at your modern battlefield. You wake up every day with anxiety choking you. You fear rejection, failure, humiliation. You fear being ignored, being abandoned. You fear not being enough. But those fears are illusions. All of them dissolve in the face of death. Because when you realize your time is finite, why waste it fearing the opinions of shadows? Why waste it crawling when you could run? Imagine this. A man spends his whole life chasing approval, likes on a screen, nods from strangers, validation from people who do not care. He grows old, looks back, and realizes he was already dying while begging to be liked. Every day was lost, every second wasted. Now imagine another man. He knows death is near. He does not waste time. He speaks the truth, even when it burns. He lives boldly, even when mocked. He walks into every room like it could be his last. And people feel it. They feel his aura. It radiates like fire in the night. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Read that again. Your life is not too short. Your discipline is. Your focus is. Your courage is. If you waste hours, days, years, death will not forgive you. The grave is the one debt that must always be paid. But the Stoic does not fear this. The Stoic uses it, turns death into urgency, turns mortality into momentum. How do you train your aura to master death? Not with denial, not with superstition. Memento mori, each morning whisper, "I will die." Not to be dark, but to live brighter. Cut the trivial. Look at your day. Half of it is wasted on things that will not matter on your deathbed. Cut it. Act with urgency. If today were your last, would you waste it in gossip, in self-pity, in overthinking? Number. You would move. Do it now. Serve. The Stoic lives not for himself alone. His aura shines because it carries others. Leave behind strength that echoes after you are gone. The man who has mastered death walks into a room and people cannot explain why they respect him. It is not his money. It is not his looks. It is his calm. He moves like a mountain because what can the storm do to him? He smiles like a flame because he knows how fast it burns. This aura cannot be faked. It is born in the soul of those who have already died once in their mind. They no longer cling. They no longer beg. They no longer kneel. They live. This is the summit, the ultimate sign of a powerful aura, mastery over death. When you carry this within you, the world loses its grip. Society cannot bribe you. Enemies cannot control you. Fear cannot chain you. Because the worst thing that could happen, death, is no longer your enemy. It is your reminder. Your aura radiates like a beacon, drawing others near, not because you promise them forever, but because you remind them that forever is a lie, and that now, this breath, this step, this moment, is all that matters. This is the fifth and final sign of a powerful aura. But now the question is not just recognition. Now the question is, what will you do with it? For the aura is not a trophy. It is a responsibility, a burden, a destiny. In the next part, we will gather all 5 signs together and forge them into a single battle plan. Because an aura is not meant to be admired. It is meant to change the world. You have seen the signs. 5 pillars of power, 5 flames of the aura, self-mastery, unshakable calm, magnetic presence, indifference to judgment, and the rarest of all, mastery over death. Most people will never touch even one. They will live blind. They will die forgotten, but not you, because now you stand at the threshold, not to admire these signs, not to label yourself with them like ornaments, but to weld them together into a single, unstoppable force. This is the path of the warrior, the path of destiny, the problem of fragments. Here is the truth. Possessing one sign without the others is not power, it is a trap. Imagine a man who has calm but no self-mastery. He looks composed, but in secret, his cravings rule him. That aura collapses. Imagine another man. He has indifference to judgment, but no magnetic presence. He feels free, but inspires no one. That aura dissolves. The world is filled with fragments, half-made men, women who wear masks of strength, but crumble when the storm comes. But the warrior's path demands wholeness. Each sign must be fused, each flame must be fed until they burn as one. The forge of fire. Think of it like a sword. Metal alone is nothing. You heat it, fold it, strike it again and again. Each strike makes it stronger. Each fold binds it tighter. Your aura is the same. Every challenge is a strike. Every rejection is heat. Every loss is the hammer. The weak break under the blows, but the warrior is forged by them. When self-mastery is hammered with rejection, it becomes unshakable calm. When calm is struck by ridicule, it fuses with indifference to judgment. When indifference faces death itself, it transforms into eternal presence. This is the warrior's forge. The ancient blueprint Epictetus once said, "Difficulties show what men are." When you meet difficulty, remember that God, like a trainer, has matched you with a rough young man. Why? That you may become an Olympic victor. Do you see it? Life is not punishing you. It is training you. Your obstacles are not curses. They are the weights on your soul's barbell. And the aura? It is your body's posture when you lift them. The quiet dignity that others sense without understanding why. The 5 signs united now. Watch how they fuse. Self-mastery gives you control of your impulses. Without it, you are a slave. With it, you are a general. Unshakable calm gives you presence in storms. While others panic, you breathe. That calm radiates. Magnetic presence pulls others without begging. It is gravity, not noise. Indifference to judgment frees you from the cage. You walk unchained, unstoppable. Mastery. Over death places the crown on your head. For the man who does not fear death cannot be ruled. Together, they form the aura of the warrior, a living flame that bends no knee. The scene of fusion. Picture it. A man stands alone in a crowded city, noise everywhere, people rushing, screens glowing, chaos endless. But he does not move like the others. Every step is measured. Every breath is deliberate. He does not chase. He does not beg. Eyes turn to him, not because he shouts, not because he demands, but because his aura whispers louder than their noise. That man is forged. He has walked the warrior's path. He carries all 5 signs within him. And even in a world of billions, he cannot be ignored. The modern warrior's training. How do you build this aura? How do you fuse the 5? Not with wishes, not with affirmations, but with training, relentless training. Discipline your impulses. Refuse what weakens you. Each no is a brick of mastery. Seek storms. Step into discomfort. Stand in chaos. Train calm like a muscle. Radiate silently. Stop announcing your worth. Let your silence speak. Let your results roar. Detach from praise and insult. When they cheer, nod. When they boo, nod. Be unmoved. Face death. Daily, write your mortality in ink. Whisper it before sleep. Live like your time is running out, because it is. Do this not for weeks, not for months, but until the signs fuse, until your aura shines. The cost of the path. But know this, the warrior's path is not free. You will lose people because your aura will expose their weakness. They will call you cold. They will call you arrogant. They will call you dangerous. Do not answer. The lion does not explain itself to sheep. You will lose comfort because the path demands fire. It will strip you bare, burn your illusions, break your chains. But in the ashes, you will rise untouchable. The gift of the path. And what do you gain? Freedom. Not the freedom of laws and borders, the freedom of the soul. Peace. Not the peace of empty silence, the peace of a storm that bends to your will. Power. Not the power of control over others, the power that radiates without effort, the kind that others feel in their bones and do not forget. That is the gift of the warrior's path. The transition. This is the seventh step. The fusion, the forging, the warrior's path. But the story is not over. For once you walk this path, you face a new danger. The world will try to break you, and so in the next part, we enter the battlefield, the tests, the storms, the enemies who will try to crush your aura. And you will learn not only how to survive, but how to conquer. Listen carefully, because this is the storm before the silence. The truth is this: the world will break you. It does not ask for your permission. It does not care for your plans. It does not wait until you are ready. The blow will come when you least expect it, through betrayal, through loss, through the quiet knife of failure that cuts deeper than steel. Most people shatter. They bend into the shape of their weakness. They trade their dignity for comfort. They let pain become their master, but not you. Not if your aura is powerful. The Stoics called it fortitudo, an unshakable core. Imagine a storm tearing through a city, roofs ripped away, trees uprooted, walls collapsing, and yet in the middle of that chaos stands a single pillar of stone, burned, beaten, scarred, but unbroken. That pillar is you. Seneca once said, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." Remember that line. Burn it into your mind. Every trial that comes against you is not proof of your weakness, but proof that the universe believes you are worth testing. When grief comes, most drown. When fear comes, most hide. When temptation whispers, most obey. But your aura, if it is truly powerful, does not obey the world. It bends the world. Because when you stop chasing approval, when you stop being a slave to fear, when you carry yourself like a soldier of fate, others feel it. They can't explain it. They just know. This person is different. Look at history. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during plague, during war, during betrayal from his closest allies. Yet every night he wrote words not of despair, but of iron. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength that is not philosophy. That is a shield. That is a sword. That is the very heartbeat of a warrior. And here is the final blow of this truth. The world will break you. The question is, will it find you made of glass or of iron? Because glass shatters in silence, iron sings when struck. Be the iron. And now, the silence after the storm. If you've heard these words and something in you stirred, don't ignore it. That was not me speaking. That was the voice inside you, the one you've been silencing with distractions, with noise, with excuses. You already know the truth. Your aura carries weight. People feel it before you open your mouth. Some will fear it. Some will envy it. A few will follow it. But only you can decide what to do with it. Remember this, a powerful aura is not decoration. It is duty. Every glance you give, every word you speak, every step you take becomes a signal of strength or of weakness. The weak pretend. The strong live it. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, so stop waiting, stop watching, stop consuming, stand up. Become, if this message reached you, it wasn't by chance. Carry it forward. The world doesn't need more noise. It doesn't need more slaves. It needs more Stoics, more unshakable souls, more men and women who stand like iron when everything else breaks. And if you walk away with even one truth, let it be this: you are far stronger than you've been taught to believe. Now the choice is yours. Will you let this moment fade like another video, or will you carve it into your life, here and now? Listen closely. This is not the end. It is the beginning. Your aura is not just energy. It is the battlefield between who you are and who you're meant to become. Every day you either forge it with discipline or you weaken it with excuses. There is no middle ground. The powerful aura is not gifted. It is earned. Earned in silence. Earned in sacrifice. Earned when you rise while others sleep. When you endure when others quit. When you remain calm while others collapse. The storms will not stop. The chaos will not end. The world will keep breaking. But here is the truth you must burn into your soul. A powerful aura is not about light. It is about fire. A fire that does not consume you, but makes you unbreakable. If these words lit even a spark in you, then do not keep it to yourself. Share it. Pass it on. Because the world does not need more empty voices shouting. It needs more souls who embody this strength. Lucid Stoic is not a channel. It is not a voice. It is a movement. A movement of those who refuse to be ruled by fear, by anger, by weakness. So here is your choice. One last time. Walk away unchanged, or walk forward as a Stoic with an aura that cannot be broken. And if you choose the second path, welcome. The world has been waiting for you.